Hello, good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. I want to share with you today time and work. Time and work. And this is with regard to entrepreneurship and business and with our the pursuit of our dreams, our goals, trying to become somebody with our lives. How we understand time, how we understand what they call work, and how we use them to become what we want to become. Almost everybody has some amount of time on this earth. Every day we are given at least 24 hours. And we use time to train. We use time to acquire knowledge. We use time to develop skill. We use time to become whatever we so desire to become. The difference between men has a lot to do with the understanding of time and how they have used time for. Some people will get up in the morning and use their time to watch funny things on TV. Another group will get up in the morning and use their time to train, use their time to read books, use their time to acquire new skill, use their time to do things that will bring more productivity other than fun. So if you understand and if you know how, because time is about the only thing that when you use it, you don't get it back. It's gone. The other time you were 1 year, became 2, you became 4, became 5. Now probably you are 50 or you are 20. You are not going back. You are spending the time like that. So what we put in this time is what we are becoming. And work is also something that you express the skill, the know-how that you have acquired through this time. And even work, you still work through time. You still work with time. And the quality of work that we all get to do with our lives, with our talent, with our skill, they define what we become. Most people are yet to understand that in this life, it is input and output, whether it's quality or it's quantity, whether it's a career that you're building, whether it's a business that you're building, whether it's a family that you're raising, the quality that you put in time with respect to any of these, you are going to get similar output. And that's why they say that successful people know how to use time to get more success and how to work to get success. For most people, they happen to work, whether for the government or for individual companies. And for most of us, by 60 years, they are pushing a lot of them to go on retirement, which means that you just have about 20, 20, 20, which means you have 20, 20, 20, 20 years. So if you're working for the government, if you're a government employee, whether you're a teacher, soldier man, policeman, majority of the people, by the time they hit 60, the government they say go to rest, let other people come in. Now, the first 20 years of your life, usually we don't really, for most people, we don't know what we are doing with that 20 years. If you're lucky, you probably would finish secondary school and you probably will be in the university. Now, the next 20 years, most people are going to use that to try to find themselves, to try to find the profession, to try to get a lot of degrees, to try to, maybe marry or take, family, something. So if you add the first 20 to the second 20, you are 40. Then you have the last 20 years for them to tell you that go and retire, let other people come. So sometimes about it intrigues me for us to see a lot of people trying to still go to, get acquire all kind of degrees, and they are still around, 40, 45, 50. If your intention is to go and get these degrees to go and work so that they pay you better, the return on investment seems to me like is that much later for you to continue to acquire all the degrees around 55 years, and then they push you to say that go on retirement around 65 years with all the burden and the school fees. And most people don't even have much saved for the life after the 60. And so we are talking about time and work. Time and work. How you use your time will define what you become, what you establish, who you influence in this life, the level of success, the level of peace, the level of fulfillment that you get, what you put in time. Most people want to blame somebody for what they have become. Some of them may be right, but most of us cannot blame anybody, not even our parents. After a while, you cannot blame everything that happened in your life on your parents or even on the country. Some people will blame the country or where they were born or the politicians or somebody who didn't help them. But after, on the fairground, not everybody, but on the fairground, most people will just have out of life what they put in time. What they put in time, what we put in time. The knowledge that you have acquired, the way you understand life, whatever you have become. If you have become an entrepreneur, it means that for the last whatever years you've been trying to build business. That's what you have put in time. So your expertise is only an exchange of time. What you put in time. If you decided to try businesses everywhere, you spent time. So for the last maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you've been trying to build companies. It's an exchange of time. Whether you've been successful or you've not been so much successful, is the quality you put in that time to develop the skill, to develop the know-how, to develop the knowledge, to develop the expertise. And at the same time, after you have acquired the skill, the knowledge, the know-how, you are going to prove the quality of the skill, the quality of your expertise by the same time. By the same time. So for, let's say, boxers, they train with time. And then when the match is due, they are also tested for the cup or for the glory or for the belt with the same time. So there's a lot we can prove by how much we put in the time that we have. So for instance, finances. Nobody becomes successful by playing around. A lot of the people who have acquired a lot of wealth, who have created a lot of wealth, a lot of them knew the importance of time. What they used their time to do. They were not playing when they went to work. They were not playing when they were delivering the product. They were not playing when they were training their team. They were not playing when they were focusing on the research. They were not playing whenever they went for some negotiation. They were not playing when they were trying to pick a partner. A lot of them, after a while, had used time to get skill. And once they had that skill, they could score. So without time and our understanding of it and how fragile time is. It's so fragile, it's so quick, it's unretrievable, and yet many people spend it as if you will get another one. Sometimes you drive through town and you see young men, able bodies, playing draft. And yet the same person will move around to complain that they don't have anybody to help them. They're using the same time to watch football when everybody else is working. Poor countries have little appreciation for time. That's why they are poor. If you go to any successful country, any developed country, you see that they don't play with their time. That's why they are developed. It's not just because they are intelligent, so to say, But at least they try to extract a lot. They try to get a lot done with the limited time that they have. When you go to poor families, they have no value for time. That's why they are poor. Not because anybody else is against us. When you see individuals who are struggling, it's because they have no value for time. And then, when you see successful people, see how they work, see how they don't play. They tell you that come and get the product 2 a.m. When you show up, the product is there 2 a.m. When they say that they are going to call the customer, they call the customer. When they say that I have to get 10 of the jobs executed within this time, they are getting it executed within that time. So they are conscious of the time, and they are conscious of the amount, the quantum of work that they have to do in a stipulated time. That's why they are successful. That's why they succeed. So if you meet anybody who is trying to succeed and who is getting some results, look at these two things: how they handle their time and how they work. At the personal level, say, at the family level, is the same. If the family is successful, look at how they handle their time and what they use their time for, what they put in their time, and how they work. If it's a company, it's the same. How they handle their time and how they work. If it's a continent, if it's a country, go and look at all the poor countries. They work anyhow. You are going for a document from the government, and they let you sit down for which they have no value for time. You can sit down for 10 hours and nobody is even asking you. They tell you to come, and by the time you show up, they don't even remember that they told you to come. If any time that you go to see people who have no appreciation for time, whether it's somebody's time or their own time, and who have no sense of quality of work, you can know that these people will struggle. Whether it's a country, whether it's a family, whether it's an individual, whether it's a business, the moment you try to trivialize time and you trivialize work, you're not succeeding. You're not succeeding. Because everybody that you see succeeding, majority of the people, you can see it by how they handle their time and how much they want to get done in a specific time. And how you can see how they arrange, how they don't joke with their work. There are a lot of young men working in the civil service. They have no value for time. The only attention is for them to get paid at the end of the month. If you think like that, there's no way you'll be huge. The only way that you get any money is when you are cheating the country. When you are over invoicing, when you are taking that which you didn't work for. That's the only way that you are going to get anything to eat. But if you don't want to cheat, if you don't want to lie, if you don't want to screw the country, then you cannot trivialize your time and how seriously you take your work. If you see anybody with money who does not understand time, who does not understand work, I can bet you it's so highly possible that that person is a thief. That person is a crook. That person is not real. Everybody that you see who is handling their time well, everybody that you see who does not play with their work, those people just you can predict that they will be successful with their business. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you are building, if you have had an idea, if you are trying to build a company, look at how you handle your time. How you handle your time. Even if you have no work to do, at least put something somewhere that will upgrade the knowledge that you have. There are two things that you can always put in time: the knowledge that you're acquiring in time and the work that you're doing in time. The knowledge that you're acquiring in time and the work that you're doing in time. So every time somebody catches you, or any time that you're caught, you should be caught putting some of those two things in time, most of the time, not 100%, most of the time, the things that you're putting in time to train you, to make you become better. Because until you know better, you can do better. Until you know more, you can do more. Until you know quality, you cannot produce quality. Which means that you are getting knowledge every day. You're upgrading yourself, you're stretching yourself. You're not waiting for somebody to hoping. And people who don't understand a lot of these things are the ones hoping that things will get better. They are the ones looking for luck. They are the ones hoping that they will win lotto. They are the ones hoping that they will get a miracle. Those who understand time and who understand work, they are not hoping. They know that the more they do, that miracle will happen out of that. And so if you don't understand that, if you don't know the time that we are wasting, because the result is not going to change. Tomorrow or next year is not going, this year, 2019, December is not going to change just because it's 2019. No. It's going to change by how we have handled the time, how we are going to handle the time, January, February, March, going like that. The amount of work that you are putting in, the business that you're doing, the sales, the product, the project, the finances, how much you are doing within a specific time, within a specific day, within a specific week. Those are the ones going to be responsible for the results that you are going to get. So the time is related to the work. The time is related to the work. And so if how you get up Monday, how do you use your time? Tuesday, how do you use your time? Wednesday, how do you use your time? Sunday, how do you use your time? The average is going to decide the results that you're going to get, and it's going to decide the results that I'm getting. It's going to decide the knowledge that we have acquired, the skill that we have developed, the maturity that has come out, or it's going to decide the stagnation that we are experiencing within our lives. And so what you put in time is what you're becoming. Don't let no man deceive you. It's direct. This life is direct. The more you are spending your time on things that will not bring productivity to you, that will not make you productive, that will not make you effective, the more you are failing. So you can see some people, you see that half of the month, they can't even tell you what they were using the time for. They were using it to go to every wedding, every funeral, every naming ceremony, every church program. And then they accuse somebody that they have made them poor. You cannot become successful if you don't know where your time is going. It's as simple as that. If you don't know how you're using your time every day, if you have no work to do, then at least use the time to develop yourself, challenge your thoughts, stretch your mind, acquire the new skill, build new relationship, get close to people who can challenge how you think and how you see the world. Because sometimes you can be so much locked up in your little achievement and thinking that you are the biggest thing that ever happened. But once you're pushed to people who are also doing far more than what you're doing, once you hear people discuss complex things and you are there and you're like, no, I don't understand anything here, the more you're challenged to stretch, to the next level. And so if you don't have to get up in the morning and just be wasting the time like that, like the way we have it, every poor country, just go and look at how they use their time. The damage that happened to these African countries, much of it is the game, is the play, is how we don't attach any importance to what we put in time and what we are getting. What we put in time and what we are getting. So if you're not putting much in time, you're not becoming anything. And these are just facts of life. So so if you see anybody who is achieving a lot, go and look at them, go ask them, what time do you get up? What time do you sleep? Within the day, what do you do? What do you think about? How do you work? What books do you read? What seminars do you go? How do you scale up? How do you build all this network? How do you get so much time? How do you get so much done within such limited time? Those are the secrets of the people who have succeeded. And those who are not succeeding, it's because they have no sense of work. You're a carpenter. Somebody gives you work. You told the person that I will finish within a month. You took the money or you took part payment. You charge 5,000. The person has given you half of it. You told the person that within 1 month I will finish. Now 1 month has come. You will not call the person. They'll call you, you won't pick. They can't find you. There's no way you're going to be successful. No way. No way. Now there are so many people that we call them, they will never pick and they will never call back. And they say that they want to be successful. No. There are so many little things that separate the people who are succeeding with whatever they are doing from the rest who are not succeeding. There are little things. How much prompt they are with their communication, how much they, how fast and how quickly they get things done, how you can count on them to solve problems, how they don't give excuses because they know the value of getting a lot of things done within a specific time, because tomorrow there'll be another problem. If you don't try to solve a lot of the problems today that you have to solve and you push them to tomorrow, another thing will come. Then you will leave the one that you should have done today, and you continue to pad them. You get to a point nothing is working. Why? Because you did not take care of the work that you had to do within a specific time. And so, some things are so much basic. You are a mason or something. You go to work. What time do you show up? You go to work. They say you come to work 8 o'clock. You go there 9:30. When you go there, you got to go and buy wache. You start the work at 10 o'clock. When it's 3 o'clock, you are packing your tools. And somebody goes to work 6 o'clock. They come home 6. And you think that you're going to be as successful as that person. No, it's not true. It's not true. The one who is doing a lot will by all means succeed far more than the one who's not doing much. Some people will say, he's work smart and don't work hard. I know that the people who are diligent, who are putting in more in a specific time, will get more than whoever is trying to tell. Because everybody is trying to get sense anyway. If I use this method and it didn't work, you think that I'm going to stay with that method forever? No. There's no entrepreneur who's just trying to push and so on. So everybody is wising up. The difference is how much stamina you have, how much you're putting, how much time you're putting to get results, how much you're getting the work done in terms of quality. So just work hard. Just look at the time. If you have nothing to do, read a book, study, stretch your mind, challenge your thoughts. Because a lot of things in this life are going to happen because you put them within a specific time that you should. So it's time. If you're a carpenter, you have become a carpenter because you traded time to become a carpenter. If you're a doctor, you have become a doctor because you traded time. If you're a lawyer, it's the same. If you're a politician, it's the same. If you whatever profession that you have, if you're a business person, you're trading your time. So don't trivialize time. And that's why when the time is due, you're out of this, When your time is up, your time is up. Nobody is going to be 500 years here. 70, 80, 90, you're gone. It's time. Once it's time, you have to go. So this time is so precious. This time is so limited, and yet most of us will just use it, just lose it like that. So most poor countries, maybe the productivity in terms of time, with respect to the population, maybe it's 10%. That's why they are poor. When you go to other countries, we see that they are working. They work 3 jobs, 4 jobs. Every weekend they are working. We are at the funeral party. We are dancing, marriage. Africa. La. The same African in Ghana, he's having so much fun and let him go to another country. He's working 3, 4, 5 jobs. And then he comes to tell us that he's successful. No, it's because you put in so much there. That's why you're successful. If you were to put the same much, if you're that serious here, you will succeed. When they tell us that, it's because no, it's not. The kind of work that they do anywhere, those who went to America or those who went to England, those who went to Germany, when they were here, a lot of them were not that much serious with their time. A lot of them were not that serious with their work. Majority of them just, they didn't care. Now you go to another system where you are required to work before you're paid. And you're required to work and work well. Automatically, You don't play, because if you play, you will sleep outside. Assuming you transfer the same kind, how you work, how regimented you are, how many hours you're sleeping, how many hours you're eating, the number of hours that you're using. When they even go for parties, they time themselves. Oh, it's time, I'm going. When they go for funerals, they time themselves. Why? Because the system requires that you have to have your time planned, or the system will throw you out. If you came here and you use the same thing, you'll be far more successful, because it's possible here. But the only thing is that here we play with our time, and the majority of us play with our work, and then they say that here is difficult. No, there are so many people who are succeeding here because they are trying to manage the time and they are trying to manage the work. They don't play, because so many people are looking for people who are very effective with their work, who will not give excuses. You're a teacher. When there's the lesson time is there, you are doing something else. You come, they ask you for the lesson notes, you have not done it. Then they will tell you that, yeah, they were praying or they were reading their Bible. When you go to school, when you go to the workplace, that's not a place to read the Bible. It's a place to work. It's a place to get results. Because that's what you are paid for. You don't go to work and you do anything anyhow. The pride of life, especially with people who are developing a career, is that you should not be proud that they are paying you, whether you do the work or you don't do the work. You are deceiving yourself. You are actually cheating yourself. You should never be proud of the pay that you're receiving that you didn't work for. It breaks you. You don't become effective. You can't carry more. You should be proud that you are being compensated by your effectiveness, by your efficiency, by the fact that you don't play with the work. They told you that you have to sell this amount of things to be paid this. If you sell less, you should rather ask them, because I wasn't able to meet my target, pay me less. Which means that you're holding yourself responsible. You're holding yourself accountable, and that's how you get ahead, and that's why you can do more. That's why you become, that's why you become successful, because you are not looking for cheap, easy way out. You want to be compensated as is due you. So people who think like that are the people who become successful. And if you see somebody who is thinking like that, they are the ones who get ahead. They are the ones who get ahead. And so look at how you are spending your time. You're a student. Look at how you're spending your time. Because what you're putting in your time is what you're becoming. Or successful people, the other time I was watching something that they were interviewing these very rich people. And some of them were saying they sleep 4 hours. Not every one of them will, but at least a lot of them, they sleep because they do so much. Most successful leaders are not sleeping. They are masterful at what they do. They don't play, they don't joke. They have to meet you this, they remember the work that they have to do. They remember the meeting that they have to have. They know the results that they have to get. They go to work, they have milestones that they have to reach. The pride is reaching the goals of the day. The pride is reaching where you set for yourself for the day. That's how you get things done, and that's how you become successful. So with your business, it's the same. The business is not succeeding because the time is not being utilized well, because you are not putting the right things in the time, and you are not working effectively to get results. So a lot of the times it's not any demon. A lot of the times, if you are struggling because we have not thought through what we are putting within time and how well we are working. And so when it comes to personal finance, it's the same. You use 40 years of your life to go to school and you want to become a millionaire, it's not going to happen. You have only 20 years to work, 60 years you are retiring, and you think that you can work within 20 years and become very rich. No, it's not going to happen. You'll be average. So those who start to work early to get revenue, to get money, somebody starts to work by 20 years, they are working. By the time they are 60, they'll hit somewhere. But you started to work around 35, 40. Even that, you don't even take the work seriously. And you still think, and if you're broke, you say that it's nobody's doing. It's not the government, it's not the devil, it's not your mother. It's the lack of understanding on our part that what we put in time is going to be responsible for our results, and how well we work, how well we work. If there is anything that has to happen to the Africans, is how they understand time and how time is responsible for everything that is happening on their continent. Everything. How they're using their time. They can pack school children from morning to evening. What are they doing? Dancing, marching, and singing. Some other students, they are in the lab. So what do you think? Those in the lab, they will develop the rocket, they will develop the medicine, they will develop the robots, they will develop the computers. They are the ones who are singing and jumping will become the musicians and entertainers. Become the footballers. And no country has developed because of football. No country has developed because they produce a lot of entertainers. No country has developed. They are developed because they produce a lot of inventors, produce a lot of entrepreneurs. They produce a lot of creators. They produce a lot of people who can work hard or who could work very hard. They were not joking with the factory hours. They're working, and their pride is to meet the target. They're producing 10,000 pieces of nails every day, and they want to make sure that they meet it. You don't waste your time. You go to his office, he has time. Your factory is working, you have no electricity, you go to ECG, they don't care. They just say that, oh, we will come. They will not even show up. Water. They tell you, oh, we'll come and fix it for you. 3 weeks, you have to even call them. And when you call them, say, oh, we don't even have a vehicle when we get to, because they have no link. They don't link the time to the development of the country. They don't link the work to the development of the country. So the way you link your time to the work that you're doing and its impact on the growth of the economy. The way every one of us, the letter, because the everything, every one of us, how much letter contribution that we are making, those are responsible for the growth of the economy. So if you are wasting our time, it means the economy is not going to grow nowhere. Because productivity, successful economies are productive. That's they are producing. Nothing is produced at, time is traded for the production. If you're producing basket, it's because you traded time to produce that. If you're working on kente cloth, it's the same. If somebody's producing shoe, they use time. So how much product you are getting out of time? And it's the work, because you can't get anything from time if you don't put in the work. And the moment you link them to your personal growth, your personal success, and the country's success, the better it's for you and the better it's for me. So if we trivialize this, if you just handle time anyhow, if you work anyhow, we are not going to succeed. It's not prayer, it's not magic, it's not the malam, it's not God, it's us. Because he set his principles there. Those who put in the right time, those who know how to handle their time and work well, those are the ones who are going to lead. Those who don't know the value of time, and those who don't know the value of work. And so my name is Kwabena. The more you plan on this, the more successful you become with your career, with your family, and of course with your business. And so if the business people come there, the workers that you have, if they just like we used to do, we had a lot of people who just showed up and we paid them, and they had nothing being there. And of course, if your business is like that, the business is going to struggle, the business is going to go through a lot of pain, you're going to have a lot of financial difficulties because you're just wasting money. People show up and there's no output. People show up, they come to do nothing, and yet you have to pay them. If your business is like that, your business is going to suffer. So look at it. What are the employees that you have? Are you getting the value? Are they putting in the work, in the time that they have to be there? If they are not productive, if they are not productive, your business is going to suffer. It's as simple as that. The business is going to succeed because the time is managed well and the work is managed well. They are putting in the hours. So if it's not there, it's not there. If they are not coming, or if they come and they just do anything they want and go home, the business is not going to grow. So the time that we get the sense and the wisdom to know how much we are putting in time and how much work we are getting and how much we are being paid for the work that we are doing, the better for you. If you have a project and you don't manage the time and the input, project is going to run on budget, over budget, and you're going to exceed the time, everything is going to be wrong for you, because you don't understand the impact of time and work and how they lead to success. Like, you become expert at what you trade your time for. That's it. We only become expert at what we have traded our time to get, So once I'm here, I'm not becoming a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not becoming a wrestler. Why? Because I'm not training. I'm not using my time to become, I'm not becoming a surgeon. I'm not becoming a lawyer. Obviously, I'm not going to play the premiership. I'm not becoming a boxer. What I'm trading my life to do is what I'm doing. The business, the learning, the knowledge. So the next 10 years, if you see me, those are the things that I've traded my time to do. So if I'm not putting anything within my time, I am not becoming anything. The prayer, spiritual direction is not even for lazy people. Spiritual direction. Yeah. A lot of them must go and look for work. They are in church praying for God to bless them. It never works. God does not bless a lazy man. What you're putting in your time is what you're becoming. It's a principle. God does not go against his principles. That's the Africans you should know. If you want to develop. If you want Ghana to develop, the people must go to work. It's productivity. It's not prayer. It's gross domestic product. What you are producing within a year, that is what is responsible for the prosperity of the country. So if the country's citizens are doing nothing, the country is not going nowhere. If they are using their time to pray all the time, if you were to count the number of hours that people are spending killing demons, if those hours, if we were to monetize those hours, you see how much millions that we are wasting in terms of time. Ghana is about 30 million people. I can say that 70% say they are Christian. Out of that 70%, maybe 40% say that they are charismatic people. And most of them go to church every day, And so let's say on the average, they are spending about 4 or 5 hours every day talking to God to help them. And most of the topics that we pray and we worry God about: visa, business, marriage, accident-free man, children, those kind of things, money. And all those things can be traded. If you handle your time well and you know how to work, you don't have to bother God. That's why he gave us brains. But even if you look at the economic implication, so 30 million people, 70% being Christians, 40%, so you're talking about maybe 10, 12 million people, and all of them 5 hours a day wasting it. So let's say you pay every one of them 10 Ghana cedis a day. Go and work every day. How much money we are wasting because of the time that our people are wasting in buying cocoa in churches and killing demons that never die, blaming and all kind of things that they are doing. They say that is Christ, which is not true. It's not Christ. So the productivity is going to be low until we get enlightenment to the people that your life, the country's life, is hinged on the cumulative productivity of its citizens. So at the same time you go to China, they are in the factories working, producing. They're working. So let's say we may not have factories, but we could have farms and we could have market centers. If a lot of our people were in the farms, farming, cocoa, cassava, plantain, pepper, all kind of things, and we're producing constantly. The Chinese are working 24 hours. If you were working the same, forget about factory. The basic primary things that we produce, if we were so much engaged in them, you will see that we overcome the poverty in no time, because you see the time value. So if the whole country, we cannot do it for the whole country, you can do it for yourself. You can do it for yourself, so that you know that, okay, if I get up, what am I using my time for? The way I'm using my time is the way the business is going to become. If I'm wasting the time, I can't blame nobody. So I could be 50 years and I have effectively used time for just about 2 years or 3 years. And in that case, you're not becoming anything. And those are the facts of life that somebody should tell the Africans. So it's a universal law. No man gets cheated in the universal economy. That's true. Yes. So what you put in your time is what you're becoming. How you process time, how you think about it, that's what we are becoming. So your child, you train them to use their time well. They don't have to spend all their time going to school. They'll be failures. They'll be poor. They have to learn how to develop themselves, and they have to learn how to work and work well. So if you are 40 years, you are broke, and you have first degree, and you have no money, no point going to get a second degree because you have not even used the first degree. What you need is work and how to manage your time well to become prosperous. But they will not tell them because they think that once they go to the classroom, they'll become successful. And they forget that the teacher who was teaching them in the classroom has a lot of the certificates that they are looking for. Those are still struggling. So common sense should tell a lot of people. So the little money that you have, you go and use it to buy all these degrees, and yet the first one you have not even paid it. It's not been able to pay you back. So the work, the time is so much important to what you're becoming. The time, what you put in time, is so critical because your life is just reflecting what you have attracted all over your life. The time, your perception of life, what you think about, how you work, how you treat people, how you talk to people, they're all coming from how you have used your time and how you work. So it doesn't matter even the kind of work that you do. It could be a cleaner, it could be anything. How effectively you work, it will push you to the next level. So your business is the same. The business is the same. The business is not going to succeed if we don't play well with the time. So use the time to develop yourself, acquire skill, stretch your mind, acquire knowledge, constantly build network, and don't play with your work. It's either you're developing yourself or you're working. Yes, have time to go to church and pray and all those things that we spend a lot of the time to do. But really, I think that those should be little. Much of your time should be spent developing yourself, developing your business, developing your product, working and making money, because after all, that's what people are praying to God to get. Money, God is not manufacturer of money. He set his principles. The diligent hand, he said, it will prosper. So you cannot be diligent if you don't know how to handle time, and if you don't know how to work. If you don't know how to work, and then your failure, they are coming from how you didn't know how to work and you didn't know how to control your time. Those are failures. The things that you are failed in, whether in business, whether it's in the family, whether it's a country that is struggling, they have not known how to handle their time and they have not known how to work well. The moment they get that, they will be successful. So if you look at any place that people are successful, look at how they are doing this. So go to any country, look at how they handle their time. All those countries, whether it's Singapore, whether it's Arab Emirates, whether it's China, whether it's all these countries, look at how the citizens, or look at the working force, look at how they understand time, look at how they work. They don't play with their work. They don't play. That's what they're society. And those who play with their work in those economies struggle. But the average person should not play with his work. And that's how you get. And these things are common to everybody. Nobody is born with this. It doesn't matter your background. All of us have time. It doesn't matter your background. You can develop yourself to work and to be very much effective. All of us can be. It doesn't matter whether you came to see your parents, you didn't know them, whether you came from a poor background or you didn't come from a poor background, whether you didn't have anybody to take care of you or you had somebody to take care of you. It doesn't matter. If you decide to work and work effectively, you will be on the top of your game. Everybody will be looking for you because when you see, the thing is that people only look for you when you can deliver. Nobody's looking for the one who is lazy. They are looking for the ones who can get answers, who can solve problems. And you cannot solve problems if you don't know how to handle your time, and if you don't know how to work to get results. And so your work is what is getting you ahead of life. It's as simple as that. No organization gives the top, to the one who was very lazy. Not even the politicians. So how do you handle your time? If I'm going to succeed with anything, any endeavor that I'm in, how I handle my time is so crucial. How I work is so crucial. So if people cannot depend on you to get results, it's a bad thing. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. But if you can get results, if you can take it, they know that once they give you this work, it it will be done. They know that. They don't have to worry. They know that if you give this guy this work, you go and sleep. He will get it done and give you the report and tell you that he has done it. If you have that kind of what is the word? If people know you like that, there's no way that you'll be a failure. There's no way. There's no way. And those are the things that very successful entrepreneurs have. When everybody else is sleeping, and they're planning. Their time is so limited for them. They're planning, they're thinking, they're making calls, they are sending emails back, they are asking their top managers how did the day go. They have a structure to take care of the time and to take care of the work. That's why they get ahead. Those who are struggling have no structure, have no understanding, they have no value, have no respect for work. They actually think that work is a punishment. So that's why they say that Friday, thank God it's Friday. If you're thanking God it's Friday, you're not going anywhere. If it's Monday morning and you are pained and you're so sad that it's Monday morning, you're not succeeding in anything. You should be happy that it's Monday morning you're going to work. You should be sad that it's Friday. If you go home and they call you and you don't pick on the work, you're not serious. You can't have a business and clients are calling you and your phone is off. How? They are asking critical questions, they call you several times, you're not getting anywhere. The business is not going to succeed. And those little things are the ones that people can delay so much in business because they are not effective. They don't take their time well, they don't handle the time well, they don't handle the work well, they do things anyhow. You don't just leave the things to compound, to create pressure, and then you're everywhere trying to solve it. You hold the streams to make sure that they call you, they are getting you. You are proactive. You solve the problems before they show up. And you are not complaining because you know that you can be dependent upon. Then you are ready to succeed. So the people who are succeeding in this life, they are not the people who are pained because they work hard. They stretch themselves. Yes, of course, they have fun. They do all kind of things, but they don't joke with their work. And they don't play with their time. It's not every time they are at the funeral or at the wedding somewhere or at the party somewhere all the time. No, not those who are working for the money that they get. Because the time and how you have handled it, the work and how you have handled it, they have direct effects on the money that is coming to your pocket. They have direct effect on the money that is coming to your pocket. So thank you very much for watching. So your time is responsible. It's not demon. Everything that is connected to you, look at the time that you're putting in. And look at how effectively and how efficiently that you're handling those times. And how well you take your work seriously. If you can get more done, you're far better. Far better, you get results. So thank you very much.